Hello and welcome to my review of Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris, starring Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams. Midnight in Paris centers on Gil, played by Owen Wilson, a disgruntled Hollywood screenwriter who's trying to write a novel while on vacation in Paris with his superficial fiancée, played by Rachel McAdams. He's having a hard time finding inspiration until one night he takes a stroll into the streets of Paris. He then finds himself magically transported back in time to the 1920s, where he meets such idols as Ernest Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald, among others. And as any writer would, he falls in love with his new time. I haven't ever really been a big Woody Allen fan. I've seen a couple of his movies, but they've all seemed a little plotless and pretentious to me. But I did decide to give Midnight in Paris a shot because of the great critical reception and because I'm a huge fan of Owen Wilson. And unfortunately, while this is easily the best Woody Allen film I've seen, it didn't really do a whole lot to change my mind about him. But before I get into why that is, I have to say that this movie really does have a genuine love of Paris, both in the 20s and in current times. The cinematography and the set design of this movie is really well done. From the very beginning, you get this sense of French ambiance akin to watching a play, and it really does draw you into the story and what's going on. I enjoyed the performances of the lead cast as well, especially Owen Wilson. I've been waiting for him to bring his everyman charisma to a more down-to-earth role for a long time, and he really didn't disappoint here. I love how the movie portrays him as the only one who's really making sense in a world of just egotistical or eccentric geniuses and characters that, like, whether it be the pretentious friend, acquaintance of his played by Michael Sheen, or Ernest Hemingway. He seems like the more down-to-earth character who always seems to be making the most sense. And I love how the movie portrays him as the only true everyman, and he really comes through in that part. We also get a nice performance from Rachel McAdams, playing against type as his materialistic wife, as well as a bunch of actors such as Tom Hiddleston, Kathy Bates, and Adrian Brody playing all the historical figures, whether it be Pablo Picasso, or Salvador Dali, or F. Scott Fitzgerald, or Ernest Hemingway. They're all excellent and very authentic. My main problem with this movie is how it crosses the line between being an intellectual film and a pretentious film. And where this really shows is the dialogue. I've never been a fan of Woody Allen's dialogue. It's just very blunt, and I don't really feel like people would really talk the way they do in his movies. They feel like they're monologuing for a play more so than they are for talking in dialogue in a realistic film. And beyond that, I felt the movie was really starting to shove down my throat how beautiful Paris was and how brilliant these people were through dialogue, as opposed to just showing how brilliant both things are. It didn't really get the message across as well as it could have. And even though the movie is only an hour and a half, it does feel like it drags, and I did get a little restless during the film. Overall, Midnight in Paris is just okay. It's got some likable performances and some good atmosphere, but it's just too self-important for its own good. I'd give it 2 stars out of 4. I'd say wait for the real Oscar contenders and real great films, and just go see some fun movies this summer. I'd say skip this one. And if you like this review, subscribe to my channel, because there'll be plenty more reviews and videos coming up. Except I'll be gone for 2 weeks, so not then, but after that.